Hello. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to the stream. So today we are at part 6 of the Spring Boot plus React.js project. Okay. So let me start with a quick intro of like a quick recap of what we are doing, and then we'll start from there. Okay. So we are trying to build a to-do kind of application. Okay. And what we are doing is we are building something like this where you can add a task, you can delete a task, edit a task and all, like to do tasks. And then in the end, we'll be deploying it to Google Cloud and GitHub Pages. Okay, the Google Cloud is for backend and GitHub Pages is for the front end. Okay, so this is the whole application that we are trying to do, and we have split it into 6 modules. The first module was the backend project setup, the Spring Boot project setup. Okay, and then we designed the DB and entities. And in the second module, we did the REST endpoints creations for all of the endpoints that are needed for creating the tasks. Okay, and then in module 3, we wrote JUnit tests and global error we wrote JUnit tests so far for like a few items. There is something more pending. Okay, so part 4 and part 5 we covered it. It's still in progress, and this is part 6. Okay, today we'll try to complete all the JUnits and also the global error handling and validation. Okay, in one shot we'll try to complete all of it. Fine. So let's go. If you guys have any questions or anything in the meanwhile, just drop it in the chat anytime, at any time. Okay, I'll be watching it. And also I have added both the chats in the full screen video, so you can see both the vertical video chat and the horizontal video chat. So there is 2 streams running now, live streams. One is for mobile users. You can watch it in mobile in like vertical mode in the YouTube app, or if you are on PC, you can watch it in horizontal view. Okay, so you can get the horizontal views link in the vertical video. Fine. Or if you want to switch back, just go to mobile, search for Fastorial and hit on the icon with the red circle, the Fastorial icon. You will get the vertical view. Okay, and the GitHub link of this project, right, the task tracker project, it is there in the video description. Okay, it's there in all the video descriptions. You can take it from there. Okay, so let's start today's item. Okay, so yesterday we did till there is the test task controller. Okay, in here we did till update task status, right? So this is the last item that we tested yesterday. Okay, I mean wrote test cases for yesterday. So today we will do the update full task. Okay, so there will be one thing, so there is this thing called full update task by ID. Okay, so we will start with this today. There are only 2 unit tests pending. One is for full update task by ID, and the other one is the last one, get all tasks. Okay, so these are the only 2 items pending. So let's start with full update task. Okay, I will go to our test class and I'll just copy paste this. Okay, and change this to test update full task. Okay, not status, full task. So the previous one we just updated the status of the task. Okay, we just change the status to done. In this one we'll update the full task. Okay, so what can we do? We will create a task. Okay, so this is the approach. Let's discuss the approach first. We'll create a task, and then we will okay, let me check what is this thing here. Okay, so this needs the ID and the request object, right? So we need to create the task and also get the ID of the task. Okay, so get the ID of the new task that was just created. Okay, and then what? Perform update. Okay, so before perform update, I also need to build this task request object. Okay, so task request is what will have the new or like the updated task. Okay, so I'll have to create that. So build a new task request to store the, or like to represent, okay, represent the values to update. Okay, so with this we should be able to do it. So perform update is the perform call, and then in the end what we'll do, we will validate. Okay, so test first thing, we'll make sure that the id matches. Okay, we need to make sure that the id didn't change. Next thing, we'll make sure that we'll update the title, and what is the other one, we will update all of it. Okay, we'll update title, description, priority status, all of it. Okay, so we'll test all of it also. Okay, so compare all fields. Okay, and make sure that it is what we are what we updated. Fine. Okay, so let's start. So for create a task, as we did yesterday, I'll just copy it from here. So if you guys are kind of not remembering it, what we did was, we have this create to do, test create to do as a function in which we actually create the task. Okay, and then reply with the actual task DTO of the created task. Okay, so that is also a test case, but we are using that function again and again in everywhere else we need to create a task. Okay, and long id equals created task dot get id. Okay, so we got the id. Next, what is it saying? Build a new task request to update the to represent the values to update, right? So I will create a task request object. Okay, request equals new task request. Okay, and inside this I will change certain items. Okay, so I'll set request dot set title to updated title. Okay, and then I'll set request dot set description to what is it, updated description. Okay, and then what else? Request dot set priority to priority. Okay, dot, sorry, I'll set it to low. Okay, because in the original one we are setting it to high. If you see below, the original request will have high, we are actually changing it to low. And then we'll set the status to done. Okay, status dot done. Fine. So oops, set status done. So with this we have completed updating most of the fields. So if you remember in part 2, I guess, when we were building the REST objects, right, we should actually set all the fields, okay, in the request, not just the ones that we need to update. Let's say now I didn't set due date, right? Due date is not set. Now if I fire this request, what will happen is, for this ID which was generated, the due date will be set to null because I didn't set the due date here. So you should always remember to update that. So I'll just clone the values of those fields from the original value. Okay, so I'll just say request dot set due date to created task dot get due date. Okay, and then request dot, I don't know if it has set, oh yeah, that is all the fields, so there is no other field. I was thinking that maybe it might have created date and the updated date also, but it is not that. Okay, fine. So with this we built the request object. Now let's fire the request. Okay, so how do we do it? Mock mvc dot let me go back to task controller and see. So which one is it? Full update task, right? So I have to first of all make a put mapping. So the verb here, or like the method here, is put. Okay, so I have to make a put call. And I have to call /API /tasks and /id. So let me make a perform a put call. Okay, and I will call API /tasks and then /id. Okay, so this will make the put call to our to update our task. Now what I'll do next is I have to set the content type, right? So content type, I have to set it to JSON media type dot json. Okay, so content type is set. Okay, so with this we have built the request. Let me write it in separate lines to make it look neater. Okay, fine. Okay, so after content type is done, what is next I have to do? I have to set the body of the request, right? So to set the body, it is actually content. Okay, so content I'll do. What was that function? I forgot. It must be there in the create, right? So I have to set content as object mapper dot write value as string and pass in the request object. Okay, what it will do is convert the request object into JSON string. Okay, so object mapper dot write value as string. Object mapper dot write value as string. Okay, in here I'll just send the request object. Fine. Okay, now we have completed building the request. Okay, the request is built. What is the next thing? I think I'll put before. Okay, so the request is built. Next, what I have to do is do the validation. Okay, dot then, oops, what I validate, I forgot. Oh, and expect, and inside expect I am going to expect all the fields that we just updated. Okay, the updated title, description, priority, status, and due date. Okay, and I have to check the ID also. If you remember, test ID matches is also there, right? I'll put this here. Okay, so test ID matches and then compare all other fields. Okay, so and expect it is JSON path. So before that, I need to also expect the status is fine. So what status are we expecting here? It is okay. Okay, so status is supposed to be okay, which means 200. So I'll go back here and say dot is okay. Okay, so I'm expecting the status to be okay. That's the first thing. Okay, and then dot and expect. Okay, JSON path, and here I'll give dollar dot title. Okay, dot value is this value, the updated title, right? So it should be updated title, and then dot and expect again JSON path. This time we are going to check the description. Okay, and its value should be this new description that we gave here, the updated description. Okay, and then what? Then and expect priority and status. Okay, so let me write it. So what I'll do is all this code is already there here. Okay, I'll just copy paste it here. I don't want to waste time. Okay, copy this. Okay, in here I'll paste this. Okay, so title, okay, title, description, priority, status, due date. Okay, so due date, I will check, validate it against what do you say, this one, get due date, request dot get, I mean the creator task dot get due date. Okay, creator task dot get due date. Okay, so this should work. And for this one, priority we set it to high, right? No, low. We set it to low here. Over here we set it to low. So I'll make sure it's low. And status we set it to done here. So I'll make sure it is done. Okay, so with this all the tests must be complete. Okay, so let me run this and see. Is there anything else? Okay, so compare all other fields is I didn't do the test ID matches it. Okay, so I'll write that also. And next is dot and expect JSON path of $.id. Okay, dot value is the ID that we got in the beginning, right? Which is the ID that we got from the created task. So we already fetched it here in ID. Okay, so I'm just making sure that the ID of the new element is equal to that ID. Okay, fine. So what is next? Next up, let me run the test case. I hope it works. I am expecting only error to happen with timestamps. Let's see. Okay, the JUnit failed. Yeah, and it as expected, it failed with the timestamp. So it is expecting to end with .476, but then the output that we got was .476 and then plus 00. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this. So let me see if this has like a to locale string. What does this do? I don't know. To locale date time. Okay, let's try this locale string. Oh, it's a deprecator. We are not supposed to use it. So what else is there? There's only two string, which is what just now happened. Okay, let's see. Let's ask our trusty ChatGPT. Let me undo this. Okay, and I'll copy this and back to ChatGPT. Okay, but was this right? So expected is this. So what I need to do is this is what was expected, right? I need to convert that to this plus 00. Okay, so how to get format from a timestamp object. Okay, you can format a java.sql.timestamp or java.time.instant into the desired format using datetime formatter. Okay, so we have this function which does that, right? Okay, so let me write this in our util class. So you remember yesterday we wrote like a helper function class. In this helper function we wrote something that converts a long value into a string value. Okay, today we are going to convert a timestamp value into string value. Okay, so let me do that. I'll just copy the same thing, same method signature, and instead of long, this time it will be the timestamp itself. Okay, timestamp. Okay, and I'll copy this body from here. Okay, and return it. So return formatted. Okay, let me rerun the test case. And it failed again. Okay, so yesterday we did a fix, right? It was, so yesterday's fix was we changed it to 5xs. That's when it started working. So I think we have to do the same thing here also. So let me change this to 5xs and let me rerun the test case. Okay, oh, it still failed. Let me see. Let me just copy paste the same thing here. Copy, paste. Okay, so it actually just changed the capital X's to small x's. Let me try. Hey, what am I doing? I should be calling this function, right? I didn't call this function yet. So in here, I should call, cut this. Okay, cut this, and I should call helper function dot. I will invoke this timestamp as string function, and inside that I'll give create a task dot get due date. Okay, let me run this now. Oh, and it passed. Okay, fine. So this test case also passed, and with that we completed test update full task. Okay, so we have updated the full task. Now next what we have to do is test patch mapping. Before that, one more thing I just realized. So when we update a task, we should also make sure that the created date is there, right? So we updated only 5 fields: set title, description, priority, status, and due date. But if you see a task actually has 2 more fields: the created at and updated at. Okay, So when we make a post put call, we should make sure that these two fields are not changed. If this becomes null because we didn't pass it, then the whole operation is wrong, right? So what I'll do for that is I will also expect those two to be same. Okay, so dot and expect. I'll just copy this date thing because it's very long to write. Okay, I'll paste it twice and change this due date to created at. Okay, created at, and then in created task it should be get created at. And similarly the next one is, instead of due date, I'll change it to updated at. Okay, this will be updated at, and they'll just get updated at. Okay, so what I'm essentially doing is I'm testing due date, created at, and updated at should be as the same as whatever is there in the original task. Okay, I'll just write a comment here. These 3 date fields should be unaltered. Okay, fine, let me run it now. Okay. So, the updated at is changed, right? Yeah, the updated at will change because it changes based on when we are updating it, right? So how do I make sure that the update, how do I test updated at? Only thing I can test is the updated at value should be greater than whatever was the created at values, right? There is nothing else I can do. How do I test it? Okay, I think updated at, I'll just make sure that value is not equal to, okay, and expect not, how do I say, is it possible to say like not expect? Okay, let me just change this and say in mock mvc.perform how to perform not expect instead of and expect in mock mvc.perform. Yeah, does not provide and not expect, correct? So what we can do is you do matches.not. Okay, how do I do that? So and expect json.path is not error. Okay, so instead of dot value, it's supposed to be not. No, it's supposed to be comma not. Okay, not. Okay, comma not, and I should remove one bracket. Is this correct? I have to import the not. And should I remove one more bracket? Let me see. This not ends here. This and expect doesn't end, so I should put a bracket. No, this and expect. Okay, where is this ending? So should I put one more bracket or what? Yes, this is ending here. This is ending there. That is ending there. This is ending here. Okay, all the brackets matched. Now let's see what is this error. The method and expect of result matcher in the type result action is not applicable for the arguments JSON path result matches. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, I'm just going through this to see what other options they have. Okay, let me paste this. Hey, I didn't do dot not. I did comma, right? JSON path updated at comma. Okay, so inside JSON path, I gave the string, then I put comma and said not of something. Oh, there is not, and then there is a is also. Okay, I didn't see the is part. Is. This is going very large. Oh, but even then it failed. Let me give this to ChatGPT. Yeah, fails because of string formatting or precision mismatch between your serialized. No, it is not failing like that. Array, it thought something else. Okay. And give me the code. Okay. Okay. So make sure hey, my imports. Correct. mockmbc.perform this and expect this. So that's what I did. Okay, let me copy this thing and paste here. Okay, which fails with the same error again, right? Okay, so let me see what they said. So they are saying that my JSON path is not from mock request matches. Let me see. But then everything is working, right? Everything else is working. JSON path, so it's from mock MVC result matches. They are saying it should be this mock MVC result matches. This is correct. Check your imports and replace this. Okay, with this mock MVC result matcher, which is what I have also. No, this is not working. Would you like me blah blah? No. Okay, let me give it the whole code. I still get the same compilation error. Okay, and let me give it the imports also. Oh, it's because of this import line. Not that not is from assert j, not from hamcrest. Oh, where is that not? This not. Okay, so how do I import it? I don't have any other imports. It's not working. So replace this line with hamcrest matches not. Okay. Nope. Hey, my error is gone. What? Okay, in that case, why did it automatically import? So whenever in Eclipse, whenever there are conflicting packages, it will ask which one to import. So let's say comment this out now, and do go Control Shift O or Command Shift O to organize imports. Right? It is automatically importing this, which is wrong and very unreliable. I have never seen this happen. Hey, and I am able to import 2 static also. How? Sorry. Oh, I am curious about this now. How am I able to import 2 knots without any error? Actually follow strict rules. When you can import, why you can import 2 knots statically without compilation? Java static imports are allowed to be ambiguous, but they don't trigger a compile time error until you actually use the symbol in an ambiguous way. This means it's syntactically valid, but when you later write not, the compiler tries to resolve which not you mean, and that's where it fails with both. So when you just import both knots, no issue. The compiler only builds the symbol table but doesn't resolve conflict yet. When you use not, it becomes ambiguous because there is a difference. The compiler sees 2 possible candidates for not and can't decide which one to pick. Hence you got the method. Okay. The actual side effect of the wrong not. So how do I handle it? They are saying remove the assert j. or use fully qualified names. Okay, fine. I still don't understand why Eclipse is doing this, but okay, let's run the test case. And yeah, it passed. Okay, so for the updated time, we are just making sure that it's not equal to the original updated time. Okay, we are just checking that. Okay, so let me write it there. These two dates fields, and here the updated time should not match the original value. Okay, fine. So with that, this is finally done, and let's move on to the next one, right? And the last one of JUnits, okay, is testing this get all tasks. Okay, this is going to be tough. Let's see how we can write it. Okay, where am I? So let me first copy this boilerplate, paste, and test get all tasks. There's someone at my gate. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Fine. So, hey, I see you commenting time switch till now. I'm not switching to IntelliJ. I will never. Okay, so get all tasks. So for this, we have to, let's discuss the approach first. Okay, create two tasks. Okay, we'll create two tasks, and then how do I build a page? That is the most complicated thing here now. So point is, this page object is there, right? Page of task DTO. I need to build this. And how do I do that is the question now. Because the task DTO, if you see its structure, even that is not very neat. Okay, let me run the whole application and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, run as Spring Boot app. Open Bruno. I'll save this. Okay, in Bruno, what we did, we had a get all tasks function, right? Hey, something failed. What failed? Let me see. The file is locked. Oh, who locked the file? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Let me see. It says that our database file is locked. So where is our database? Data, this file, right? Okay, I don't know why. Let me delete this trace.db. I don't know what that is. Let me delete it. Okay, and let me restart. It's the same thing again. So okay, I'll just rather delete this db file also. Okay, restart. Oh, 88 was already in use. Who is running it? Confusing. Is this VS Code running it? No. This one? No. That is weird. The server failed to start. Who is running our application? Let me see if there are any other consoles here. There will be an option to switch consoles. Oh no, this one, it's not there. That is also disabled. Let me restart STS itself. Please hold on a minute. Okay, now I'll run this. Somehow I think the application didn't stop and it's still running. Where is it running though? I need to kind of like, okay, let me do one thing. I will find macOS find and kill all Java processes. Okay, let me run this. Okay, there are so many Java processes. Is it? Ah, there's STS again. What else do we have? Okay, there are two STSs running. Let me kill STS completely. Okay, and run this again. There is one. Oh, there is one STS running, even though I killed it. How? Okay, let me kill that. Fine. So kill all Java. Okay, fine. Now let me start STS again. That was weird. Somehow STS didn't shut down properly. Okay, and if I run it now, it should work. Run as Spring Boot app. Okay, yeah, it started. So you can see here started to do application in 1 second. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So I was trying to show you how the get all tasks work. Okay, so if I run this application, I mean run that get API tasks. Okay, so that is the endpoint for get all tasks. Okay, if I see in the controller, it's just API task. I don't give an ID or anything. I just do a get call and it lists all tasks. But if you see, it gives a lot of stuff. Okay, so first of all, the DB is empty because I just now deleted everything. Let me do like 2-3 post calls. Okay, I just inserted 10 values. And if I go to get all tasks now, so you see it gives me the data like this. Now, how do I make sure that I can build this content out of it? Okay, let's try. What's the harm? Okay, so one place where we built object was in a test task controller. We built it in the create object, right? So when we did create, we are returning the content as string here. Let me word wrap. Okay, so we are returning the response, took the string out of it, and then we are converting it into this object, task DTO, right? So what we have to do now is we have to figure out how to convert the response into a page object. This page, right? This page object. Okay. Or let me ask to Spring Boot what is the best way to do it. Okay. Let me see. I have a controller for pagination like this. What is the best approach to test this using our test? What is our test thing? Spring Boot test and auto configure mock MVC. I'll just copy this block so that it understands what we are doing. Okay. Okay. Oh, so they built this page response using all this. Okay, so this page response is what we wanted, and they built it like this. There is a object mapper.read value, and then they are passing the JSON, and then they are doing object mapper.get type factory.construct parametric type, and they are passing the actual object, which is the page response object, and then the task DTO.class. But how come it became paged response? Shouldn't it be, where is the controller? Shouldn't it be page? Okay, let's see what is paged response. Paged response. I don't even have something like that. Where did they get this paged response object from? Yeah, of course it doesn't show any imports. Oh, page response is something they built here. Okay. Yeah, why am I not surprised? So they built the Poja object that will be representing the response of this Bruno, right? So they built this whole thing as a object called paged response, and they are building it as paged response of task DTO, because we are getting a task DTO object. Okay, this is kind of complicated. Is there another easier way? Okay, no, it doesn't seem. So we have to write all this. This is like crazy boilerplate. So what do we do now? Okay. Fine. We will do one thing. We will do this test, as they say. Okay, we will run the test suite, and we will actually get the item. Okay, because here they are doing this JSON path, right? Why should I do this extra stuff here? Anyway, I can in my paged response object, I'll be having all this again. So content, number, and size. If I go down, see, number, size, and content, all of this is already there anyway. So what I'll do is I will simply fetch this, the result of it, the MVC result, and then build a JSON out of it, and deserialize it into an object and go from there. Okay, so wait, I'll show what I'm going to do. So where is it? Where is the test class? In test class, I'll create two tasks, right? After that, execute, perform get all function API, and get the mock result. Okay, or MVC result. Then build, it's not result, response, and then build the paged result object. Okay, and then run tests on the paged result object. Okay, so we'll do it like this. Fine. So this is going to be easier than what ChatGPT said. Fine. So let's create two tasks then. Let's start writing code. So I'll create two tasks, this and this. Now I don't want to know like the detail of the task that was created. I'm just simply calling it two times. Okay, I'll call test create to do twice so that it gets called, two tasks get created. Then I'll do perform get all API and get the mock response. Okay, so mock MVC dot perform and I'm going to make a get call. Okay, so if you see task controller, this is a get mapping, right? It's a get mapping of API tasks. So I'll make this get call in here. Okay, now inside the get call, what is next? I will voice breaking. Maybe my mic shook. I hope it doesn't break anymore. Just let me know. Full audio is breaking. I wonder why. Hello, how is it now? Is it better? Including BGM. Oh, maybe my internet is, something is happening to my internet maybe. Let me see if I can downgrade the bitrate. Okay, I'll set this to 6200. Okay, is the BGM fine now? How is it now? Getting audio frame by frame. Choppy. Okay, I'm assuming that something is wrong with my internet. I can't think of anything else. Can you check the full screen? What about the full screen? Hello, can you hear me well here in full screen? Oh, so the problem is only with the smaller one, right? Let me end this and restart. Okay, I'll end the, what do you say, vertical one and restart. Let me see how it goes. Hello. Okay, I just restarted. Let me see. Hello, how does it sound now? Hello, how does it sound? Okay, it sounds good. Can you check the, what do you say, vertical video now? I think it's sounding good now. I just checked in my, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Fine. So what were we doing? Get all tasks, right? So mockmbc.perform get all tasks, and then, okay, so in this one, dot content should be media type dot application, just write JSON. Okay, and after getting, what is the plan? Build the page result, right? So I'll just do dot get response dot why is this not working? Perform. Okay, and then oh, it's and return. Okay, dot and return. Okay, so I'm not doing anything. If you guys see, I'm just executing and getting the response. I'll get it into MVC result. Okay, so it's MVC result, not MVC response. Now I take the MVC result and that I'll convert into paged result. Fine. Now let's write a pojo to represent the page result. Okay, so I'll create it here inside controller. I will create a new class and I'll put it inside like a dot pojo and call it paged result object. Okay, not object, just page result. I have to change the name, rename file to page result.java. Okay, now inside this we need some elements. What are the elements? You need the content id, you need an array called content. Okay, and if I go down after the array ends, okay, you see the array ends here, right? So after the array ends, I need to have something called pageable, inside which there is page number, page size and all, but I don't think I need this anyway. Ignore that. I need this size. Okay, how many items are there? That is first thing I want, and I think only that is enough for me. So I'll take only 2 items. I'll take the content list and then I'll take the size. Okay, so I'll take only those 2. So size is an int, and then it's a list of, what is it? It's a list of task DTO. Okay, task DTO, and I'll call it what should it be called? Content. Okay, content. Imports, I'll run all the imports, java util list. Okay, fine. Now I need to generate getters and setters for this. I go to Eclipse, go to source menu, go to generate getters and setters, and then select all of the fields. Okay, and then go down and click generate. Okay, so that will generate all the getters and setters. Now we have the page result object. So one thing compared to ChatGPT, what I did is ChatGPT actually wrote a generic type like page response of some type, and then you write the type here, all this stuff. I just hard coded it. Okay, just to keep things simple. When we look into collections, we look into that generic type and all. Okay, fine. So how do I build the paged result object now? So we can simply call our this function, right? This one. It's kind of like that. I'll just copy the right half. It's object mapper dot read value, and then you take this JSON string response and pass what class you want the string response to be deserialized into. Okay, so it is like this. Okay. So I need here it will be page response. That's a page result. Okay. Now I need the JSON string response. So how do I get this JSON string response? It is from here, and result dot response get response. Okay, there's a function called get response, and then dot to string. Okay, fine. That will convert the MVC result into JSON string. Okay, then what do I do next? Yeah, so this will give us a page result class. Okay, so let me write it like that. So result object. Okay, I got this, and on this now I'll run my tests. Okay, so I'll just run one test to make sure that the size is 2. Okay, so I created 2 items, right? So I'm expecting size to be 2. So I'll do assert that page result object dot size. Okay, get size is import. Okay, is equal to, and I'll make sure it is equal to 2. Okay, fine. I'll just write this one assert and make sure everything is fine. Let me run this, run as JUnit test. Okay, it failed. Unrecognized token org was expecting JSON. So why did it convert to org? First of all, let me stop the running server. I think I made some mistake here. Let me go up and see what the mistake is. Okay, so this is supposed to be get content as string, not just dot to string. So that's the mistake I made. Okay, so to convert the JSON response, you are supposed to write get content as string. So get response, right? After that you do get content as string. Okay, fine. Let me run it now and check the output. So expected 2 but was 20. Where did 20 come from? Let me see the Bruno. So Bruno says size is 10 here. Okay. So is it not resetting the data or something? Let me rerun the test and see what the value is. Okay. So for some reason size is becoming 20. How? From where is it becoming 20? So this is the expected, I mean, this is the output when I insert 10 items into the actual production DB. But if I, in the test class, there is supposed to be only 2 items, right? Okay, let me, not create these 2 items. Okay, and let me run the test again just to see what is going wrong. It's always 20. Okay. How? Let me see. Page result has size and content. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see the size of our result. Okay, so assert that result object dot get content. Okay, dot get size dot size. So this get content is going to be an array list, right? I'm going to expect it to be of size 2. Okay, I have to uncomment that. Whatever equal to 2. Okay, I have to uncomment these 2 creations. Let's see. Oh, it failed at the, so it's saying expected 2 but was 20. So it failed at the first test case itself. So let me rerun it. I commented out the first test case. I'm running only the second test case. That passed. Okay, that is weird. So we got, okay, let me print this and see what is happening. This, right? String JSON response equals this response string. Let me pass this here. Okay, and let me print the JSON response. Okay, let's see what is going on. I should have, it's here. Okay, so it says page number is 20. I mean page number is 0, page size is 20. Okay, that is page size. I wanted just size, right? Where is size? Size is 20. Why? Oh, there is a total elements which says 2. But didn't ours? Okay, here it is total elements which says 10. Okay, so I think page size is what this size is. It's not the number of items. So we have to look for total elements, not for the size. So you understand? So by default, the page size is 20, and we are getting that the page size is 20. So if there are 50 items, it will just show only 20 items. So in that case, the size will be 20. I think that is what that size meant. So we should be instead looking at total elements. Okay, fine. So simple change, go to page result object, and instead of defining size, I will define total elements here. Okay, I'll remove all these getter setters and create new set of getter setters for total size. Okay, same as before, select all, go down, generate, save this. Now test case should, in here I will assert that get total elements is equal to 2. Okay, now let's run it, and it passed. Okay, so that passed. Now let's do one more check to make sure that the object's titles are valid. Okay, so this is fine. What should I do next? So I'll use a stream. Okay, so result.getContent is a list, right? So I'll do stream.stream. Okay, and inside the stream I'll take for each task element, right? So what do we get inside this list is an object of DTO, task DTO, right? So for each task DTO, I will check if, okay, assert that task DTO dot title, right? Get title, okay, dot is equal to, I will make sure that it is equal to this study Springboard. Okay, fine. So I'll run this test case, and that also passed. Okay, so we will stop this test case here. If you guys want to see more test cases, I'll write. I will remove this unwanted private method. Okay, it's not being used anywhere. So for this, I'll write a comment saying what we are doing in this. Okay, just make sure that all tasks have the expected name. Okay, I mean, sorry, expected title. Okay, fine. Okay, I think all the comments are also fine. Now we will run the whole suite once. Okay, so I will go to the top and I'll run this test task controller. Okay, run as JUnit test. Okay, this is supposed to run all the tests. Or did it run it so fast? Oh, something failed. So for get all task it failed. I think it's because something else inserted tasks first. So if you remember, we got the same issue when we were doing the test task repo, I guess, right? And we added order. No, it was in service then. Let me see. Test task service. No, where was the order thing? Oh, here only, it's here. So in test task repo, we added this order of tests, right? So we have to add the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to say that everything should be ordered based on this order annotation, and then I'll say that the get all task, right? That should be the first task to be executed. Okay, where is it? Get all task. Okay, I'll say that this should be the first task to be executed. Why are we doing this? This we are doing because I need only two tasks in the DB, right? So if I call the other tests first, then it will have other tasks, I mean tests in the DB. I don't want that. I want only two tasks. Okay, so let me run this again. Okay, and everything passed. So if you see all 6, how many other 3, 6, yeah, all 6 test cases passed. Okay, and then we'll do one more thing. Okay, I will go to wherever my code is. Okay, where is it? Okay, I'll go to cd codes, cd task tracker project backend, and I'll run mvn clean mvn test. Okay, so this is supposed to run all the tests. Okay, fine. So it ran only 5 tests. Oh, it ran all the tests. Okay, so it ran 6 tests from from test task controller. It ran 4 tests from test task service. The service test ran. Then it ran 5 more tests from test task repo. Okay, so now our code is so robust, nothing is failing according to our test cases at least. Okay, so we'll take a break now, and after the break we will look at how to do global error handling. Okay, so error handling is the next part. Fine, we will check that in after the break. Okay, so let's take a 10-minute break. See you guys after that. If you guys have questions, just drop it in the chat. Okay, bye. Hello. Okay. So welcome back to the stream. Hope you guys had a good break. Fine. So where were we? We completed the JUnit tests, right? So we completed writing JUnit tests for the repository layer, service layer, and the controller layer. Okay. So with that, all tests are done. But we'll still be improving the tests now and then. But we have written the basic, the CRUD operation test so far, right? So if we have any exceptional cases, like some edge cases which we encounter while we are developing the application, we'll add them also to our existing suite of tests. Okay. So let me first of all push the code that I wrote. Okay. JUnit done. Okay, git push. Fine. Okay, so I have pushed the code. You can go here and see it should already be there. Okay, this GitHub link is there in the video description. Where does it say? Huh? Where did I push? Oh, I didn't commit properly. Git commit. Okay, git push origin master. Fine, everything got pushed. Let me refresh. And yeah, it's here. Okay, so it's committed now. Okay. So let's move on to the next item in our today's agenda. Okay, today's agenda next item is global error handling and validation. Okay, so if you see what we are supposed to do here, we have it written down here already. If I go down, yeah, it's here. So for validation and error handling, we are supposed to use Jakarta bean validation for DTOs and implement a global controller advice that returns structured JSON errors. Okay. So what is this controller advice? Controller advice is a concept in Spring Boot where if at all an error happens in our controller, the REST controller, any kind of error, any kind of exception can arise, right? Runtime exceptions. When that happens, instead of simply throwing a 500, it will show what message you want. Okay, maybe you want to show a custom message or like a custom some data. So you can return this JSON response. Usually what will come, it will show like a white label error page, but instead you can like return this JSON response for any kind of error. So that is why you have the controller advice. Okay, so I mean, even I am not very familiar with this, so let's just check that. Okay, so let's see, let's ask this question, new chat, how to implement a global controller advice that returns structured JSON errors like this. Okay. Okay. So it says, yeah. So it says, so it says you have to write a global exceptional handler, right? So this is where you will be writing your handling code. Okay. So what do we have here? In here we are saying if any response status exception happens. Okay. So what to do with that? We have to do this. If any method argument not valid exception happens, we have to do this. If there is a normal generic exception, we have to do this, right? So for everything, this, what is it, controller advice bean takes care of all of that. Okay. So this is the response entity object. So I asked it to build a object with timestamp, path, error message, all of this, right? So this is what we are going to build. And it says here controller advice makes it global, applies to all controller, and handles all of these errors, the different types of errors. And let's say we throw exceptions, like throw new response status exception and throw exception saying invalid task ID or something is null, null ID came, or like the due date is before today. You have to always set due date to future dates, right? If you give any such kind of requests, then you can build a response status exception like this and throw it. So you will get a JSON response in the task, which will for the request, which will actually have all of this data. Okay. So see, they even show here. So we'll get a JSON response, which will have the timestamp first of all when this error happened, and then the path, which the API which we called, and then the error message, error type, and the error message and the status code. We have all of this. Okay, fine. So let's do one thing. Let's see how to build this. So first thing they are saying is to use the ControllerAdvice and create a class like global exception handler, right? So let's create this first. Let me go to package explorer. So it's time to close all the test classes. Okay, so we have all these test classes, right? Let me close it. Close. Okay, I closed everything. And in here, in my package structure, I will expand src main Java, and where we have to do app application. So usually I put like custom beans inside this package. So in here I'll give new and then class and create the global exception handler. Okay, finish, and we have the global exception handler. So we will mark this as ControllerAdvice. Okay, fine. So inside this, now we can add handles for each kind of exceptions. Fine. So we will just we'll just write this one kind of exception handler with the response status exception. Is that the one that was shown here in the example? Let me see. Yeah, the response status exception, right? So let's build this one item. Okay, where is it? Okay, so let's build this. Okay, so okay, so some errors are there. I'll explain what is that. So what is happening here? First of all, let me enable word wrap. So we are annotating this function, handle response exception function, as the handler for any response status exception. So if somebody is throwing a response status exception, we are saying handle it using this handle response status exception function. Okay, and it is taking two parameters, the actual response status exception and the request which is making this exception, right? So it's controller, it's a REST controller, right? So everything is a HTTP request. So we get that request injected by this argument. Okay, and now we are trying to get the status code. I don't know why that is failing. So it's saying cannot convert from HTTP status code to HTTP status. So we'll just change it. I think ChatGPT didn't get the correct what do you say, output. Okay, so here status dot get, okay, no, that was supposed to be like this. Okay, fine. And ex dot, I think it's get message. Fine. Okay, so we are supposed to pass in. Okay, let me just copy this signature, right? So we are going to pass in all of this. Okay, so we are going to build a response entity object which has the status code and the error. What is the actual error? Like not found, okay, or okay, it's not an error, not found or unauthorized or things like that are there. So that is the actual error, and the message is the error message, right? So I did this up in incorrect order. Let me fix it. So reason should come first, okay, and then the error message should come, and then you have request dot get request URI, which will be the path of the HTTP request. Okay, fine. So here HTTP status, I'll just take int status code. Okay, and then what is next? Get reason is the error message, and get message is the message, path is path. Okay, what is the error here? It says the method int string is not applicable for the arguments HTTP status code string. Okay, so I think the status code is a full object, so I'll just get the how do I get the number from this? Here it is, value. Okay, I'll just get the value. So in here now I have to build the response entity. Okay, so the response entity, I will make it a JSON object, right? So a JSON object is nothing but a map. So I'll just map dot off and then say Okay, I'll say status is status, and then error is error, and then message is message, and then path is path. Okay, and this I will return. Okay, so return response entity dot status. Okay, and I'll set the status number as whatever the status number is, and then I'll do dot body, and I'll pass this whole body. Okay, I think I can make this into a map of string comma string. Okay, no, that is not a map of string comma string. Oh, it was map of string comma object. Okay, and I'll change the return type of this also. Okay, fine. So we have constructed our response body. Okay, so if you guys are confused with what this map.off is, I'm actually building a key value pair of the status, error, and all of that, right? So it will, when you serialize it as a JSON object, it will give you a JSON object. Okay, so when you use a JSON serializer, it will give a JSON object. So if you want, like, let's say a JSON map, then you have to create a list. Okay, so this is kind of how JSON to Java mapping works. Okay, fine. So with this, we should be done. Let me test this. Okay, what is this yellow color here? Okay, so let me test this. I will go to the controller to do task controller. Okay, and I will try in the find, right? Where is find? Okay, so update task status. Get task by ID, right? So we have get task by ID here. Okay, inside this get task by ID, if any error happens, what I'll do is I will throw new response body exception. Okay, what is wrong? Is it? Oh, sorry, response status exception. Okay, response status exception, and in it I will pass the, okay, this is the, what is say, signature. Okay, so in this I'll pass the status code, I mean the status and the reason. Okay, so two things I'll pass. Fine. Okay, let's do that. So first thing will be http status dot 404 is 404 is not found, right? Not found. Okay, and the reason I'll say what is it, task with ID is not found. Okay, fine. So makes sense. Is this custom exception? I didn't write this exception. Apparently this is there in the Spring Boot framework itself, I guess. Yeah, so Spring framework itself has a response status exception, which apparently gives a constructor with the response status and a reason to add the exception message as explanation. Okay, fine. So let's try this. Okay, let me run this application. Wrong button. Okay, so the app is up, and let me go to get task by ID. Okay, and let me pass the ID as 100, and if I run it, yes, you got it. Okay, so it says path is API task 100, which is the actual endpoint which we call. We got the status 404, and it says task with ID 100 is not found, and then message says 404 not found, and then again the task with ID. So there's one small mistake here. So the error is supposed to, okay, I'll show in ChatGPT what is the expected output. Okay, so the expected output is supposed to be something like error is bad request, right? So instead for us error should be not found, and the message should be the actual message that I wrote. Okay, so how to do that? In here, message should be the actual message, right? So message should be this one. So this should be reversed. Okay. Status code value I sent here. Message should be invalid task ID, right? But what am I setting here in my controller? I'm setting the reason as that. So what they said, what ChatGPT said is kind of wrong. Okay, so message should be the reason. Okay, and then where is it? Message. So value message. So message should be here, the second item, and then I'll send error. Okay, which is ex.get reason and path. Fine, let's try this once and let's see what we are getting. Okay, if I execute this again, so message is supposed to say just a task with ID is not found, right? So message is supposed to say task with ID is not found. How do I get that? Here, what am I setting? Reason. So here I should say like this. Okay, I'm a bit confused. Please wait. Okay, so reason is the message. Okay, and what is the actual error? That it's not found, right? How do I get that? I don't know if I can get it from ex.get status code dot toString. Maybe this will give me the message. What does it say? Oh, this is the object.toString, not this. Okay, so let me ask ChatGPT. So in here, error came from error, and error was the second argument. And where did second argument? Oh, so they just custom sent the this thing. They didn't take the error code from. Yeah, they didn't take the error code from whatever we sent. So I thought that you can build the error message from that, but that is not what happened here. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll remove this totally. Where is it? I'll just keep the reason. Okay, where is message? I'll remove this error part. Okay, and I'll remove error from here also. Okay, so I'll be passing only 3 items: the status code, the actual message, which is the reason. I'll rename it to reason. Okay, the reason and the path. Fine, this should be fine. Let me restart. Okay, and if I run this now, yeah, I got the path, the message which says task ID 100 is not found, and the status code 404. So if this body also shows the status code 404, my actual response status code is also 404. Okay, so I'll go back here. There is one space is missing. Okay, I'll just add the space. I have some OCD. Okay, fine. So that we fixed, and there will be one more place where I was sending 404. Where is it? Here, right? So if when does it happen? Oh, it says illegal argument exception. Okay, it's again the same thing, I think. Long ID, right? So if long ID comes, So I'll just say throw new response status exception. Okay, and then I'll pass http status code, is it? Okay, dot, no, it is status only, dot not found. Okay, not found. And then the reason is the same thing here also. Okay, so I'll just copy paste it. Why should I type everything again? Task with id, some id is not found. Okay, so this is there in full update task by id. Okay, so when we are trying to update a task, if that task which you are looking to update is not there, then we just say that task with that id is not found. Okay, where else? Here also the same story. Okay, so I'll just copy paste. When we are trying to update the task status also, this could happen. I'll paste this. And then delete mapping. So in delete mapping, we don't care. There is no errors. And in get mapping again, there are no errors. Fine. So let's test one more use case with, where is it? In get mapping, we get this ID is not found, right? So this is what we tested already. Let's test full update task by ID. Okay, so I'll go to full update existing task by ID and I'll give like 200 here. ID should restart the server. Okay, now if I run this, I got the same error, right? So task ID with 200 is not found. So it's working here also. Okay, so we got like a proper error response. Instead of simply throwing 404, we got like a proper error response body. Okay, that is what they wanted. Okay, so that was one thing which they asked, right? So to do ControllerAdvice and do this, and then they said add validation annotation. Okay, so let me check how to do that. How to add validation to DTO objects. Okay, so in our DTO we are supposed to add things like not blank, size is this, and then not null, size is this. I think we added this somewhere. I think we added it to our entity, right? So task.java. No, not here. Where did we add it then? Let me see. In our DTO, not here. In our request. We wrote it in our task request. Apparently task request is also kind of a DTO only. Fine. So we already wrote one DTO, one validation in the task request. So we will do the same thing for the task DTO also. Okay, so in DTO for title I'll add that title is mandatory, and I'll just add one more check which says size. Okay, so size max equal to 500. We'll add that also for the description. Okay, so for description I'll add this. Let me enable word wrap. Okay, so this says that the description should not be greater than that 500 characters. Okay, so here also I'll do that. I'll add this. Okay, word wrap. Fine. So 2 validators are what we mainly needed. Let me see if any other validator makes sense. Okay, not blank, not null. The other validators we'll ignore. Fine. So next we are asking global exception handler. We did that already. And then write tests asserting error payload shape. Okay, so let's write this also. Before that, let me commit what are edits for. So did so far. So I'll just say git commit -m added global error handler. Okay, let's push this. Okay, that is pushed. Let's just write one test case in the get by id to make sure that if the id is wrong, it should throw the exception that we are expecting. Okay, so I'll go to test task controller. So this is, so thing is, remember that this will work only for controller. So I can write this test case only in the controller. in the test task controller. In nothing else I can write. So in like the test repo, task repo or test task service, I cannot write. Okay, so I'll go to test task controller, and there will be a function for get. Where is it? So there is a test find by id success, right? Below there is a test find by id fail. And in here, what did we check? We made sure that the status is 404. Okay, let's run this test. Let me stop the current server. I'll stop it. Okay, and if I run this test case, this should pass first of all. Okay, and if I check the output, it passed, because even in our new what do you say, exception handler, global exception handler, we are returning the status code as it is. So the 404 status code came. Now we have to validate whether the message and path and status values are same. Okay, so let's do that. Let me go to, I'll close everything else. In the test task controller, after status is not found, we will also do and expect JSON path. Okay, and what is the JSON path? Dollar dot 3 items, right? First status should be 404. Okay, dot value is 404. Next, next we will expect JSON path. What is the next thing? Message. Okay, message dollar dot message to be this message. So task with ID something is not found. Okay, so I'll just write that task with ID 200. No, it will be this ID 636, because that is how I wrote my test case. Okay, so the random arbitrary ID. Okay, I'll just write it here, arbitrary non-existent ID. Okay, so the arbitrary non-existent ID is 63636. I'll check whether that same ID is present. Okay, then next what I'll do, the last item is path. Okay, so the path should be dot and expect JSON path of dollar dot path to be this path, API task 63636. Okay, fine. So whatever we are sending in, that should kind of come in the response also. Okay, but as an error message. Let's run the test again, and it passed. Fine. So test find by ID fail, the failure case passed. Okay, awesome. So since we already had a failure case, we had to just add this extra items to it, and it passed. Okay, so now what we'll do, we will commit this also, and with this we will fully end the JUnit, and like module 3 is done. Okay, so this whole module 3 is done. Tomorrow we'll start the front end setup. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be exciting because we are starting a new item. JUnit tests for global exception handler added. Okay, fine. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I will clarify it. Okay, I will run the stream for some more time. I'll update this data. Meanwhile, if you guys have questions, just let me know. Okay, so I see no questions. Fine. Okay, so we'll end this stream here. So see you guys tomorrow around the same time. If you guys are interested in this kind of topics, just subscribe and hit the bell. You will get a notification when I schedule the stream. Okay, so I'll schedule the stream at least like 1 hour before I start it, so you'll get the notification and you can join accordingly. Fine. Okay guys, thank you for joining. See you guys in the next one. Bye, have a nice day.